very, very important.
No,
It is
that's
not
not it.
enough.
That's not what I want.
Bad basketball. The refs killed the game, and I will be the first
this is
to
awful
admit.
too.
Texans who will forever regret passing on Johnny
Is that serious
Manziel.
right now?
Uh-oh, Golden Boy's coming
what?
back.
And he wants to come back.
Dancing with the Stars?
And
Dancing with the
he
Stars?
called out Conor McGregor.
Oh, shit.
No, that's
God,
true.
no.
Yes.
Hey,
It's a true
motherfucker.
story.
This I can get into. Welcome back to Scout Team Sports. My name is Chris America. We are coming to you live from Thailand. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Thailand. And to my left is the Thigh Master, Mr. Anthony Mack. How you doing, buddy?
Tallahassee knows how to party. He's just jealous. The Golden Mike makes everybody jealous. It brings it out of them.
They bring in that Rick Scott swag, that politician old man swag. Tallahassee.
The swamp is always just jealous, man. You just hating Gator. Hashtag hating Gator.
Wait
Hey,
a
dude.
second. You are not the Thigh Master, though. I'm just going to say that really, Suzanne
absolutely
Summers
not.
is the original Thigh Master.
Suzanne Summers
but ever
hot.
since you said Thailand, you're up there as number 1A.
Some people pronounce
1B,
it
whatever.
Thailand. Who gives a crap? I've been drinking.
Nobody pronounces it Thailand except for you.
I do. And that's the only person that
and
matters.
nobody's jealous of Tallahassee.
You're jealous of Tallahassee.
All right, and I am the Loudbeard Kyle Sanders, and I'm glad to be here with you guys talking football, talking anything. I guess talking politics
shit.
since we have the Tallahassee Swaggert over here.
We're not talking politics.
Is that what they're calling him now? Willy,
Taggart the
Willy
Swaggart.
Swaggart?
It's Tally Swag.
Slick Willy?
Tally Swaggert,
Tally
Slick
Swag.
Willy. That's your guy
Let
right
it
there.
go,
Come
bro.
on, man.
Let
You
it
got to be
go.
representing them.
What am I letting...
Hey, have some fun with it, bro. You got.
I just did. Slick
You got a
Willy.
coach?
I'm having fun. Are you
Hey,
having
All
fun?
right,
you got a
so
coach. We're all having
we all
fun.
got coaches. We all got new coaches.
Do you know what this is?
This is
I've
bad.
been noticing this a lot on Twitter the last 24 hours. This is FSU insecurity. A lot of these FSU fans are so defensive about this hire, and they're making it out to be this great. It's a good hire. You guys hired a
What is he
good,
talking
safe
about?
guy. He has some
Bruh.
good things in his resume. He's
Bruh.
turned around a couple of programs.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of bowl wins.
tons of bowl wins.
How many bowl wins was that again, Chris America?
He has the same amount of the bowl wins he has is the same amount of bowl wins me, you, and Mac have combined. That's how many bowl wins that's a lot.
That is a lot.
The
I mean,
three of us
combining us
combined,
together,
guys,
that's
we
like
just
piling on
hating.
top
A lot.
of wins on top of wins on top of wins.
Yeah.
I like it.
But I don't know what I'm hating on. It was a good hire. Solid hire.
We're good.
So
We're
Florida
happy.
Independence
I'm
Bowl might be his first bowl win this year.
No, I don't think he's
No,
coaching
he's
that.
not coaching.
Oh,
that.
well, he had his one chance.
No, wait, he's gonna coach the Las Vegas Bowl with the Oregon. No, wait, he
He's not
lied to
coaching that
everybody
either.
in Eugene
Oh.
and took off.
Don't
man.
even
I'm just
go-
telling you
don't
what the
even go
players
there.
say.
You know, Scott Frost would have stayed and coached his team into the bowl
Jimbo-
game.
Jimbo
I'm just
did-
saying, that
Jimbo
guy has
did-
integrity.
Jimbo did the same thing. Scott Frost is an exception. He's
Right.
an exception.
He's
not the
exceptional.
rule.
I agree.
Come on, man.
So
Don't
Urban
be
Meyer
good.
did the same thing at Utah. Just
Yeah,
good,
these are-
wholesome coaches
Yep.
make these
Quality
decisions.
guys.
Wow.
Don't.
So
Guys
Jimbo
like
Fisher,
Jimbo
you like
and-
him? You still like him? What is your take
You know
on
what,
Jimbo
man?
Fisher right now?
I can't hate on Jimbo. 75,
I can.
75 million is a lot to walk away from. It is.
FSU's not over it. They had to take
I'm
the
over it.
president had to take jabs at him today.
I mean, of course, that's his job, right? I
His
mean,
job's not to take jabs at your old
Yeah.
coach. You got to come out, take the higher road.
no one takes the high road anymore. Really.
He's
UCF
gotta-
took the high road.
He should have made it about Slick Willy, but instead he wanted to.
Who takes the high road anymore? Nobody takes the high road anymore.
Yeah, UCF, they said, good
UCF
luck,
did,
coach.
good luck,
We
coach.
thank you for
UCF
your time here,
UCF
and
was
we
a
really
different
wish you the best.
situation.
Why? Because they're a better team than the Florida State Seminoles this year?
Hey, their record
I
indicates
honestly,
that.
out of the
Fine.
three of our
I'll take
teams,
that.
I think y'all made the best hire.
Yeah.
Out of the three of our teams,
I think you guys actually have a pretty good
You know
coaching
what?
staff.
That was like a sneaky good pick. I'm impressed with Danny White, the AD over at UCF, is doing. The guy, one, bringing in the new coach, but also defensive coordinator.
Defensive
Randy
coordinator.
Shannon.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That shocked me more than anything
Yeah.
else. I was like, dude, we needed a good defensive coordinator to help energize our defense because our offense has been clicking.
Your
And
defense
hopefully
is
our
suspect.
coach can keep that going, our new coach. And then our defense needed a little bit of really good coaching to get them over the hump. Randy Shannon. That's the deal right there.
Yeah, I think that's a great hire on your guys' part. I mean, I don't know how much you're paying them, but it's got to be, discount bargain. I mean,
discount double check. I mean, that's what Danny White did. He discount double checked. He didn't hire just a good head coach, but he hired a good defensive coordinator, good receiver, or sorry, not receiver, but a good recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys listen to the show at all, you know that I was always high on Randy Shannon. I wanted Florida to keep him. I even
Listen to what
tweeted out
our own show.
Yeah, to our show. I'm talking to our listeners. Hi, listeners.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me because you're
Well, I know
looking right
you
at
don't-
me.
I
You're
know
giving me
you
this
don't.
look like
Wait,
your
you-
eyes were like staring
No.
into mine.
Wait, you
Like
guys-
there was like
you
this
guys
special
listen to the show?
connection that we
That's-
just had.
You know that's my lazy eye, dude. Come on. Why you always got to call me out like that?
Wait, you guys listen to the show after we record?
Just to listen to
What
your
show?
voice.
I'm just messing with
I'm
you. I
like,
listen to
man,
you.
I need to go to bed at night. So I'm like, let's just drown out all the other guys, like me and Chris America, and just listen to Anthony.
Yeah,
his
okay.
deep voice
What's-
really gets me going. At
What's
night.
great about our show is
Love
we
on
have
a
not had
two-way
less than 3
street.
listeners at any given week that we've recorded.
Boom.
It's a
Hey,
record.
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I like it.
I'll take that record. I like it.
So back on track.
Back on track.
I've always been high on Randy Shannon. I even tweeted out when we did not retain him that it's a big mistake on Florida's part.
Huge
not
mistake.
not a mistake we can't recover from, but it's still a big mistake that we do need to recover from. So
I mean,
I just
shout-
wanna
kudos to you guys.
throw out-
He's helping your recruiting. He helped your recruiting for the last couple of years. I
yeah.
would. It's not gonna. Like you say, you can't bounce back from it, but you guys should have kept him.
I think
You
so
guys
too,
needed
but
that guy on your staff.
So you just said you tweeted out about it. I just want to give a quick shout out to you, Chris America. You can check him out at Chris Scout Team on Twitter. Very active. We all try to be active. I'm at Kyle Scout Team, and this is at Mac Scout Team, MACK.
Yeah.
Mac, not McElwain,
Not Mac.
but he's close. He
heard-
once laid naked on a shark.
I laid
So
naked
they
on
are
sharks.
definitely brethren.
I do think that Mac, even though he says he's not mad at Jimbo Fisher, I have seen this Twitter account since he finally admitted that Jimbo was gone called at Jive Jimbo. I think it's Anthony Mack.
I agree. Look,
Anthony Mack.
look.
Tell us a little bit about your fake account. Are you
Tell us
like-
about Jive
are you-
Jimbo.
Are you
I'm gonna
Kevin
go-
Duranting us?
I'm gonna go look at that account now, but it's not me. Look, dude, he has 75 million reasons to walk away.
I thought it was 70.
No, it's
Either way.
75.
Is it
10
75?
years.
75?
I think
Hey,
it's-
look, you got to throw the extra 5 in
And-
there, right?
Is it the 5, extra 5?
You
And that money's guaranteed.
It's guaranteed for 10 years. I mean, he has
No-
a 10-year contract.
No, I don't blame him. I just think that it sucks that he left on such bad terms. Like, it was one of those, like, Florida State's like, oh, well, we were getting tired of him. He was getting tired of us. And then Texas A&M's like, here, we'll just dump the truckload of money at him. The whole thing's like
So what's
pretty
funny-
shady.
And I
What's
know Chris
funny?
is going to bring this up. Go ahead. I know what you're going to
No,
say.
so what's funny is they obviously Florida State, and Texas A&M have all shown videos of their coaches arriving. You got Dan Mullen coming off an airplane with a big old smile on his face. He's doing the gator chomp. You got a video of Slick Willy doing the tomahawk
Dude, stop
chop,
calling him Slick Willy.
and everybody's cheering
Wait,
and everything.
it's Willy
everything's
Swaggert.
great.
Willy
Willy
Swaggert.
Swaggert, Slick
Yeah.
Willy Swaggert.
Come on, man.
Slick Willy Swagger.
Get it right, homie.
So you got all that excitement going on, and then you see Jimbo.
With the
he
dog?
comes off this plane. He's got this red carpet in this limo. The band is like going nuts. They're going wild, and he just walks, just like he's on a brisk walk at home. Doesn't even pay attention to anything going on. He just goes straight from the airplane to the car. And then there's this other awkward video of him. I don't know if he's at a basketball game, if he's at some rally. But they do this thing at Texas A&M where they go arm in arm and they do this
Yeah.
swag thing back and forth. They sway and sway. And
He's just like-
this girl's like sitting there and she puts his arm around him. He's like, I don't want to be touched, but there's
Stonewall.
cameras on me.
Yeah.
And then he does just like this awkward, it's the most awkward thing I've ever seen. I'm
Awkward
like,
white
come
man.
on, Jimbo. When Sugar Mama says do the sway, you
Gotta
do the
it.
sway.
Yeah.
You
Look,
think he's a germaphobe?
did you see the picture with the dog and the dog looking up like,
No, I didn't see that one.
It's another one out there.
I
too.
saw his Christmas tree sitting at his out on the curb, but that one really upset me because that's a really good Christmas tree to go to waste. Like, why would somebody do that? Why would a human being do that to such a poor, innocent tree?
Only you, Kyle. Only you.
But we always hear these things about having a coach fits. You need a coach that fits. I always thought that was a stupid thing to say because if you win, you fit. I now get it because I see Jimbo looks like a complete fish out of water over there in College Station, and
So it doesn't fit at
I
all.
don't think it fits.
Well, you know, when we got Jimbo and he was making those great offensive plays and we won that championship, it was you don't notice it. No one really notices it because, for one, you're winning. You're just going through the motions basically. But I'm actually excited about Willy Taggart. Like genuinely, not just because he's Florida State. I actually know the guy. I don't know him like I can pick up a cell phone and call him. But I met him.
You're not like, hey, the McRib is back. You want to come with me to McDonald's?
No, but he's just a genuine cool guy, and to see a guy like that in a job like that, it's just exciting. I'm genuinely excited about Willy Taggart being at FSU. I'm just happy.
Hey, I'm happy.
I can't wait for
I'm
next
happy
season.
for you, man.
I can't wait for next season.
I'm happy for you. I hope he continues the losing record way that he's set so far in this 8 years.
You had me at McRib.
That's not his losing record. He has a losing record, but only because he took up teams that had losing records and improved them every single year. Period.
There's some of that.
No, that's what it is. Period. He's improved
And
every
it was
team
always
he's
a
been in.
slow rebuild as well.
That's fine.
So let me ask you this.
He has 6 years.
So let me ask you this. Is Florida State a rebuild program or is it a win now program? What is your expectations going into next year? Okay, so what were your expectations if Jimbo stayed? Like
My
last week when you
expectations-
thought Jimbo was still here, what would you have come into next summer? What would you tell us? Would you be like undefeated like you were last summer?
I mean, that's always the goal, but I would say for Jimbo coming after this season, he would have to get into the top 6. He would have to get in the
So
top
that's
6.
10, 11 wins.
Yeah, and I still wouldn't fire him, but this is what my expectation for Taggart is. That's to get the recruits, to train these guys. Taggart's going to go through his contract 6 years no matter what. I'm calling it right now. But if he doesn't do anything for the next 2 years, I'm going to be disappointed, but I'm going to understand it because, like you say, he's a slow rebuild. I don't expect that to happen because we got Levitt, we got him.
Oh, I don't know that you got Levitt.
Here's the problem.
We're going to get Levitt. No,
Going
we got Levitt.
Going
Are you
into
sure?
this
Yeah,
year,
homie, we signed him.
you were ranked 3rd or 5th or something, and so
I think it was 2.
Was it 2
Yeah.
behind Alabama?
Yeah.
When I take that into consideration, I still think mentality-wise, Florida State's a win-now program. I think the fans believe it's a win-now program. I think the AD believes it's a win-now program. And if Taggart doesn't go in there and win now, there's going to be a problem early in that relationship. You have a team that brings back Francois because this is the savior, right? He is the next coming of Jameis Winston, if there is such a thing. So if he comes back and plays, you now have that lofty expectation, not a rebuild. You don't rebuild.
You don't rebuild around Francois. I get that.
Yeah.
But if we ended up in the top 6 next year, just like we expected Jimbo to be, I wouldn't be mad. If we ended up in the top 10 next year, I wouldn't be mad.
Who would be mad at a
Taggart.
top 10 finish? I don't understand that at all.
Some
Like your expectation can't be national championship.
Ohio State this year would
Some
be
people
mad
do.
that they're
Some
not a
people
top
do.
4 team.
Right.
But that's kind of an exception to the rule.
Okay, so for me personally, you guys, your 2 teams just hired a new coach. You both, UCF and Florida State, are win-now programs.
Correct.
Because you're coming off of a 12-0
Undefeated.
season.
Yeah.
Obviously, the recruiting classes weren't that great under Scott Frost. I think you guys are 59th now. You guys were like 53rd last year. A lot of that had to do with the fact that, hell, for the whole year, Nebraska was going to hire Scott Frost. It's hard for Scott Frost to go in and be like, yeah, I know there's all these rumors and people are saying that I'm going to go back home, but please come play for me at UCF.
And nobody knew who Scott Frost was, really. Nobody.
That's
really
true. He
knew
had
who
no
was.
ties to Florida,
Yeah.
whatever else.
No.
But either way, you guys are a well-oiled machine right now. Florida State, even though they're 6-6, they've had a
Florida
top
State.
5. They've had a top 5 recruiting class going back
That's
since
five
for the
or
last
6 years.
5 or 6 years.
Easily.
So, to be honest with you, a 6-6 record is completely unexcusable.
It's bad.
I don't care that you lost your quarterback. Urban Meyer,
I said
not
that
meaning to
before.
pump him up so much, but that guy won a national title with his 3rd-string quarterback.
Yeah.
So you can't sit there and say, "Oh, if you have enough players on your team, you should be able to mask the inefficiencies of one player."
He also won a championship with Chris Leak. Just throwing that out
He
there.
did win that.
So that- I mean, that's impressive.
It is.
And going back to Jimbo going 6-6, it has to be I'm gonna take up for him on this one because once again I said it was because he had lost that quarterback and he was quite honestly afraid. His playbook got cut in half. He didn't want to get Blackman hurt. Being a freshman, as skinny as he was, I seen the recruiting tapes. The guy can play, but Jimbo cut his playbook in half because he didn't want to go down to his third string. He was playing it safe. I honestly believe that, and I'll back him up to the end of time with that. He was playing it safe this whole season, and I think that's why we ended up with such a bad record because he played it safe. You got to play to win.
Yeah, and either way, they were 6-6. I mean, again, I'm not saying this to pile on. It's just when you go into the season ranked number 2 and you finish unranked 6-6, it's probably one of the most disappointing seasons of all time.
It probably is the worst season I've seen in Florida State history.
So I think the only thing that's going to hinder Taggart is he's bringing
Swaggert.
his swagger.
Come on, can we got to get it right? This isn't
Swaggert, Willy Swaggert,
Willy Swaggert.
Willy Swaggert.
I kind of like it.
Slick
It's
Willy
Willy
Swaggert.
I'm gonna call it that.
I'm not sold on the slick part, but I can go with it.
Sending out
Just
an
because-
SWS.
Nah. it's
Yeah,
Willy
just
Swaggert.
because it pisses off Mac, I kind of like
You
it.
do
Of
like
course
Slick
you
Willy.
do.
He's slick.
Yeah, he's not. He's Willy Swaggert.
Dude, he's in a recruit's home holding up the Oregon O while he's about to go have a steak with the president of FSU. That's pretty slick stuff.
That's.
I mean, it's business, but
That's
it's slick business.
That's business, and even he said, look, man, I'm sorry that I left these guys. I didn't know what was going to happen, and that's mostly because Jimbo, like you said, held us hostage for a week and a half. You know what I'm saying?
But I still think if you're going to meet with Florida State, you take a time out on a recruiting trail. Like, let me just not go into. Again, it's one thing if kids are coming to Oregon, but you're going to fly. I'm sorry, if I'm a parent and you come into my home, even if you're the Oregon coach, you're going to promise me and my son, hey man, I'm in this to win it. You're going to lie to my face, and then you even if you left for Florida, my favorite team, I'm going to be like, I do not feel good about a guy like that.
But he wasn't lying. He at that time he was still thinking he was going to be with Oregon.
No,
that's what
see,
the man said.
You don't meet with somebody and say I don't know what's going to happen.
Cover your ass. You cover.
I don't usually agree with Mac on this stuff, but I'm going to have to agree with him a little bit because, let's say, in the real world, not $5 million a year world, but in the real world, you have a job. Even if you applied for another job and have an interview, you're not going to go to work and say, let's take a time out on what I'm doing here because I don't want people to realize that I'm not fully committed to this.
This is completely different than convincing a 17-year-old kid who has one of the biggest decisions of his life to make that he doesn't get to be like Slick Willy Swaggert and say, yeah, I'm going to be at Oregon for a year and then I feel like going to Florida State, and then I get to go to Florida State and coach. That kid doesn't get that option.
If he goes sell to the Oregon, school, you don't sell the coach.
So what are we?
The coach has to sell the school.
No,
what are we arguing here?
So all I'm saying is you can't say, "Oh, he's not Slick Swaggert," when he kind of is.
How many coaches change jobs?
It happens all the time.
I know.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying. Why does he have the Slick Swaggert name? Because he went into kids' homes.
You know what the difference is now? You know what the difference is now between any other years? It's the media frenzy behind it. Social media.
I think this year was worse than any other year.
I'll give you.
Despite the social media.
This stuff happens all the time. But what's going on is we get. But what's going on is we get the cameras. We get the media, we get the paparazzi following these guys. We get the recruits that have Twitter that are posting up everything they do. So that's the only difference. I guarantee you, this isn't the first time it's happened.
No, it's
definitely
not.
It's not going to be the last time it happened.
Real quick, I just wanted to apologize. There was a little gap in the recording. Mac was ordering another fuzzy navel from his waitress, so I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that that's what was going on because we are live.
Navel.
We're real. We're uncut. This is how we roll.
Yeah.
Definitely uncut.
Again,
Purple Nurple.
Look, if you go on Twitter, there's players that were on the Oregon Ducks team.
I get it.
I mean, everybody's mad over there.
Everybody was mad when Jimbo
well, yeah, you got
too.
Francois over
Exactly.
there getting on Twitter, being like Drake. You
can't
never
even
call me on the cell phone.
So don't get. I mean, I feel bad, but at the same time, like he said, the job only comes around once. $75 million only comes around once.
Right.
You got to take it. I'm sorry. Hey, look, I'm sorry, Mr. 17-year-old senior coming into my school. I'm not going to be at Oregon next year. You're going to have a great coaching staff that we're going to leave behind that's going to come in and do great things.
No, I'm taking leave it with me.
All right. So I think at this point, I'm going to...
Let me ask you one
more question?
One more question about this that I want to discuss.
Here we go.
We talked about Jimbo 75. Dan Mullen got paid $6. Your guy got paid $5 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Are these contracts getting out of control?
Absolutely. They've been out of control, though, right?
But it's getting a little bit
What was
more
Saban
out of
paid?
control.
No, what was
Saban
Saban paid?
deserves it.
Wait a second.
We can't-
Saban
no,
is
no.
a terrible
No, no,
example.
so
because
here's-
I would pay Saban double what he's getting
Okay,
because
there you
he
go.
is there every year, even
And
if they don't
Saban,
win it.
and Saban's
every year,
earned it.
There you go.
He's
Saban's
earned it.
Earned it. Where
No, Slick
hold on.
Willy.
So hold on. You got Dan Mullen, losing record in the SEC, getting a $6 million contract. You got Jimbo Fisher, who is coming off of a 5-6 record when he was hired, getting paid 10 years, $75 million, and he's listen. I know you don't like me saying this, but he's digressed every single year since that national championship year. He finished second the year after Winston left. He finished third in your division the next year, and then 5-6. So that's a downward trend. He gets rewarded with a 10-year, $75 million contract, guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
And then you got Willy Swaggert. He's got a losing record, no bowl wins, and gets a $5 million. You got Oregon. You got Phil Knight, a billionaire Nike owner, and Florida State pulling back and forth on a guy that has a losing record and no bowl wins. You got Florida offering $6 million to a guy who has a losing record, a 2-15 record against top 25. What happened to the days where a coach had to earn that at their school?
So I'm going to jump in on this.
Go ahead.
Because I kind of feel like, thinking about all these, I look at Scott Frost's contract, and when you think about it, his is actually a really good contract for Nebraska, because Nebraska's a down program that needed somebody to come in and revitalize them. He's from Nebraska, his family's there, and he's not getting paid, he's getting paid the same as Slick Willy. And he had just come off a 12-0 season. And so when you look at that,
Tomato.
a 12-0 season with a team like UCF, to me, is a phenomenal accomplishment. He earned it.
Right.
Whereas Slick Willy, I don't know if he necessarily earned it. I mean, he definitely didn't. And Jimbo has the national championships. I get that. I get that. But
He has one national championship.
oh yeah, I said he should have had 2 with Jameis.
He should have had to.
He
But
should.
Oregon got in the
Oregon
way.
kicked their ass.
Yeah, they should.
I guess
have
that was FSU's way of getting back. They're like, oh, you want to kick our ass in the
Yeah,
the
we're going to take
playoffs?
your coach. It worked. It worked. 1 year.
So he has one national championship, which to me, it does mean a lot. Like, I'm not going to put that
Right.
behind him. But at the same time, I don't think anybody deserves a 10-year contract.
Ooh.
Florida right now is paying how many coaches?
No, I think there's 2 coaches. Yeah, they're paying 3.
They're paying 3 coaches.
Yeah.
Like, when you do these long contracts, like if in Texas A&M, if 3 years down the road they have 3 losing records, what is going to be the solution?
You gotta
To
keep
buy
that
him
guy.
out? No,
Oh,
or
you
do they
gotta
keep
keep
him
him.
and just run? Like if
No,
he runs
so
them into
think
the
about
ground?
that too.
You gotta
Not
keep
even
him.
just 3 years in a row.
Shit.
Imagine if he has 5 disappointing seasons. You still got
You
another
gotta keep him.
5 disappointing
You gotta
seasons
keep
left
him
ahead. I
around.
agree with you. I think there's only 2 coaches that can demand a 10-year contract right now, and they've earned it at their school. That's Urban Meyer and Nick Saban. Those
I
are the
agree
only
with
2
that.
And now I'd even give Dabo Sweeney that 10-year
Right.
contract.
No,
Yeah,
I completely agree with you. The problem is it's becoming like baseball and then basketball in the 2000s. So in baseball, that's like you have to pay these guys 10-year contracts, even though you know the last 3 or 4 years of their contract, they may be over the hill
Yeah.
or something may happen.
I mean, name a 10-year contract where you're like, wow, that was a really good decision.
right.
That
No.
was just a fantastic decade for that team.
Yeah, rarely.
years.
I mean, if ever.
I think maybe
2027.
I mean, not even A-Rod. I mean, A-Rod did deliver a championship. What was it, like in his 4th or 5th year?
But
then,
the
like you
last
said,
3
the
or
last
4
5 years is just
Yeah, it's
him on
just like, wow.
steroids and
they're almost like paying and knowing that they're going to do that. So
What,
the
pool
best
holes?
example, what about Bobby Bonilla, who has a day every year
Yeah,
where he gets
Bobby
like a $1
Bonilla
million contract. He's still getting paid by the Mets, and that's
$1 million every year.
I mean, it was
Wow.
like a lifetime contract or something. Wasn't it something stupid? When do you draw the line? Same thing in basketball. They ended up cutting it up to 5-year contracts because these teams were hamstringing themselves by ridiculously outbidding for players that didn't deserve what they were getting, like the Allen Houstons and the Gilbert Arenases of the world that had a couple good years and then got these huge contracts, and then just you can't like compete at that level unless you're somebody so special. Like right now, LeBron, I mean, 10 years ago, LeBron would have been worth a 10-year contract.
Right.
But looking back, saying that, it's different. Kevin Durant, these guys deserved it. But what they would do is they would say, okay, let's take these mid-tier guys like the Magic with Aaron Gordon. They could say, oh, let's pay him a 10-year contract just to keep him because we have no other talent on the team.
Right.
And you know that it could be a bust. That's what's happening in the coaching world. You're getting somebody like Jimbo Fisher where you're like, okay, you got one national championship. Bring that to Texas A&M. And if you don't, screw it, we're investing in the future, and I guess we'll have to suck up $75 million.
That's because we are money-hungry individuals. I mean, you can't blame you can't blame the guy that's getting 10-year deals. You got to blame the guy that's actually said, okay, yeah, I'll give you the 10-year deals, right?
You don't blame the guy taking the money.
Yeah,
no, you
can't blame Jimbo.
Because if somebody stood there and said, hey, at Kyle Scout Team on Twitter, you are the best on the Scout Team radio show, we're going to pay you $70 million a year if
so
you leave us
theoretical.
and go over to another podcast.
That's so theoretical.
To be named in the future.
Yeah.
And I
That's
would
the name
say,
of the podcast?
I really like you guys, but I'm going.
Yeah.
And I know we have a show coming up this Wednesday
Yeah.
that we're recording, but it may be our bowl show, and we may be eligible for
Right.
a national championship of podcasts, but
You got to go.
there's a paycheck waiting for me. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So you can't blame the guy taking the money.
Can't blame the guy.
And that's why, in a lot of ways, I really want Jimbo Fisher to fail, just to serve as like a warning to these other schools. Because
Wow.
look,
Wow.
it's bad.
I
for,
don't want the
it's-
guy to fail.
It's bad for college football. Listen, why would I feel sorry for a man that just got paid $75 million? He's set
I don't
for
feel bad.
life. If he goes 0-12 every single year for 10 years and he wants to cry himself to sleep over it, I'll be like, check your bank account, Jimbo. Nobody feels sorry for you.
Oh, my God.
So,
That's horrible.
yeah, I hope he fails.
Wow.
Because what Jimbo was doing, what Willy Taggart was doing, what Dan Mullen has probably done in the past, a lot of these coaches now are just going, hey, my school, I know you just gave me an extension last year, but all these other schools are calling and they want me to go, so you need to give me an extension anyways. What? I'm 5-6? I don't care. You need to pay me or I'm out.
There's no loyalty. That's what
There's
you're
no
saying.
loyalty. I mean, I get it. It's okay to say, yeah, you leave for the $75 million, but at what point do these schools say, man, we got to stop doing this to each other?
So I'm going to give an example here, though. You say there's no loyalty. I'm going to use Nick Saban. Again, he's an outlier, but as an example, because he, with his resume, could have gotten calls from other colleges that could say, I'll pay you $10 million a year for 10 years. Easily. Texas A&M, would they pay
I'm pretty
Jimbo
sure that's
Fisher?
what he's getting at Alabama now anyways.
I mean, I'm pretty close.
No, but he's getting
He's getting
7 or
taken
8.
care of.
Is he-
No. He's like 10 to 12 million.
Is he 10 to 12?
Yeah, he's the most- I think he's the highest paid coach.
But I thought he was the highest paid at like $8 million a year or something. I didn't think he was at
that
10.
was probably like 6 years ago.
Oh, that's a good point. So
No, I
Phil
mean,
Knight-
and-
let's say
but-
Phil Knight called, and Phil Knight's got billions, and
Right.
said, I want you to coach Oregon. You never, ever hear a rumor that Nick Saban's talking to another school. With Jimbo Fisher, how many years have we heard that in a row?
Yeah, I'll give you
I mean,
that.
it was LSU last year. It's Texas A&M
Right.
this year. It finally came together.
Well, I mean, even Nick Saban did the same thing everybody else did. He was at Michigan State for 3 or 4 years. He actually had a really average record at Michigan State.
Yep.
Then he went to LSU. Then he went to the NFL. And then there's Dolphin fans that still hate Nick Saban to this day because he lied to them about, oh, I'm going to be here for a while, blah, blah, blah. And then he bounced for Alabama, and Alabama is probably the best coaching job you could ask for. Because
But it wasn't when he took it.
No, it was when he took it because it's still in the South. It still had all of the crazy, insane donors who will be like, what? The coach needs $20 million? I'll write a check today. Not a lot of schools have that kind of... You got people killing trees over there because they lost to Auburn. You got other people shooting people because they said that Alabama wasn't as good as Auburn.
Yeah.
Now, if there are people that are that insane, imagine the millionaires and billionaires that are in Alabama.
Somebody poisoned some trees, right?
You didn't, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got people that are that insane on the poor end of the spectrum. What do you think the rich people are doing? They're giving money hands over fist. That even though schools like UCF have millionaires, Florida State has, it's just a different thing in there.
But I don't know. Is Alabama the richest school as far as boosters go? I look
it's
at like
up there, man.
Texas Longhorns. Those guys
That's up there, too.
They can't buy themselves an opportunity. It seems like every year it's like, oh, the Texas Longhorns. Let's keep them ranked because we know that they're one of those storied programs. But still, they can't buy themselves.
Well,
wins.
again, it'll go back to my argument. I think Alabama, Georgia, Florida is a much richer recruiting base than Texas is.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you can have all the money in the world you want, but if the players aren't as good as the other guys' players, you're going to lose.
All right, so
Greg Popovich is a great NBA coach, but he goes against LeBron James with the Magic squad. He ain't winning shit.
That's true, or Golden State. So I'm going to grab this conversation by the balls and just say, let's talk a little bit more about other coaching instead of our Florida schools, because we've gone a little overboard with it.
So let's talk about Tennessee.
So that's where I'm going. We got the Tennessee Volunteers, who has been the best coaching search I have ever seen in my entire life, because they've blanketed the entire nation. I think they've even gone to Mexico to see if football coaches would even coach their team, and they haven't quite gotten the right guy yet. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well,
Lane Kiffin coming back or what?
I don't know. Well,
Lane Kiffin can't go back to Tennessee. He doesn't want to right now, right?
So on Twitter, we've had all these lists of coaches who they've asked and said no. Now we need a list of all of the schools who have hired a coach before Tennessee has since they fired Butch Jones. So Florida's made a hire. Florida State. You two both. You're left on Friday. Yours left on Saturday. Not even a week.
Yeah, not even a week.
Like 3 or 4 days.
We were there.
Yeah, UCF was on it quick.
I think 68 hours is what somebody said.
I think Frost gave him the heads up. Frost knew.
No, and I think Danny White is just that good of a athletic
AD,
director.
man. That guy is unbelievable.
Yeah. We're back on Florida schools. But
yeah,
look,
Tennessee,
nobody wants that job. It's toxic. The only way they're going to get a coach is to go back down to Pop Warner and get one of those coaches that grab kids by the helmet and cusses them out to come to school. Nobody else wants to go there.
I think Philip Homer's going to be like, I just had an interview with a coach. He's really great, really handsome. Love the guy. My wife approves of him too. It's me.
It's me.
I will be the new head coach. You losers fired me 10 years ago.
I mean,
that's not a bad idea.
That's
so,
Slick Phil right there.
I like that conspiracy theory.
How old is he though?
It doesn't matter.
Right now, they need a warm body to occupy the position.
I'm just saying. I mean,
he might have been playing this off the whole time.
What? I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want him back in the coaching seat.
Again, it's a warm body.
I'm not sure
to fill the seat.
If you're a Tennessee fan right now, are you thinking to yourself, damn, I should have never painted on that rock because anything's better than what's going on right now. Maybe we should have taken Greg Schiano.
Nope, they think they did the right thing. You talk to them, they swear they did the right thing. We didn't want Schiano.
I saw a tweet from a Tennessee fan. I checked out her profile. She looked like a normal person, not like just not some crazed fan or whatever. You know, you see them. And she's like, we took over our university and we made them know that we don't want mediocrity anymore. It's like they feel like
they did the right thing.
They own the university.
Yeah.
That quote in itself is garbage because what are you going to do? As a fan, you're going to go out there and just say, we're going to make our team great again. We're going to build that wall. We're going to do everything we can.
And we've already said it. What coach wants to come in and say, hey, the first time the fans paint on a rock in March, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Well,
in March, you're right. After the orange and white game, we're
out.
I'm gone.
They didn't like the offense during the spring game, so I'm fired.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. Seriously. No one wants the job. They're going to have to go. I don't know what they do. I don't think they know what they do. Philip Fulmer is a good hire at AD position. I'm not sure he can get T or anybody else to come to that school to make a big difference. He's going to have to settle on something that nobody wants, and they're not going to be good, but they're going to have to deal with it for the next 3 or 4 years because the moment that they go and fire that coach or give him a hard time, no one else wants to jump on the job, you know? So that's it.
So college football with the coaching thing has been really interesting, but we forgot to talk about like these games that are going to be coming up, because there's a college football championship that's coming and there's bowl games, and we haven't even talked a single second about any games.
Right.
Should we do a bowl game special?
We could.
Yeah.
Maybe this is our college football special. We didn't even
I
realize
I feel like we took over college tailgaters.
Yeah, well, this is college tailgaters part.
Yeah.
Should I get Sean on the speakerphone?
Sean, where you at, bro?
I will say
Fighting Illini
this.
are the best team in all of football.
I will say this.
I love Lovie Smith. Oh wait, that's Sean. Sorry, Sean. We'll get you next time.
That's actually the opposite of what that guy says.
I know. It's funny.
I will say this though about the Tennessee job. Guess who's the most happy that this is all going down?
Great shit.
Lane Kiffin.
No, Butch Jones.
Oh yeah.
Because now that when he goes to
He's like,
interview,
it wasn't me,
interview
it was
a job,
their
yeah,
train
he's
wreck.
like, do you see how awful? Like, it took everything. I had to use trash cans to motivate this program. That's how much garbage this place was. It wasn't me, it was them. Look at my record. Where do you come from? Cincinnati, I think.
I don't know. Close.
So he's got to be loving it, man. He's not going to get a job this year, but next year.
I think Shiano's laughing at it a little bit too.
Yeah, Shiano's got to be.
Shiano's definitely like enjoyed it, like.
Especially if he gets that 20 million people were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so another good coaching hire that happened was Arizona State with Herm Edwards.
I like Herm, man.
Yeah, you can't say anything bad about
Oh,
him.
you can say a lot of bad things about him. Not bad things
So-
about him as a person, but him as a coach.
Chris America had a good tweet earlier today talking about how if you, as an Arizona State fan, have Herm Edwards as your new coach, do you want him on ESPN talking about other teams and NFL and spending his time worried about finishing his week off as an analyst instead of jumping in and being a coach at Arizona State? I kind of agree with that.
Like, what would you do if Slick Willy was on ESPN breaking down Juju Schuster-Smith's
his dirty
suspension instead of taking pictures?
What would you do if Slick Willy was doing that? Come on, Mac.
You got to finish the job. I mean, Scott Frost is finishing the job, right?
No, that's
but
not
I
a
bet
job you finish.
He's sleeping over at
That's not a
somebody's
job
house
you
in
finish at
Nebraska.
ESPN.
just
ESPN
saying.
personalities come and go, and you don't miss him at
ESPN
all.
would fire him in
You
2
finished
seconds
the
if they thought they could
job.
make an extra $1 because of it.
Sean Salisbury disappeared, and you forgot who that guy was, and he was on ESPN
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. You got to. I'm indifferent to it. I don't give a crap. It's Arizona State.
That's because it's
I mean-
not your team.
I mean,
I
are
would
they
be pissed
off?
if Dan
Are
Mullen.
they pissed off?
Though Arizona State isn't a elite program.
No.
So there's second tier
no.
program.
I mean, he did.
And they're getting a big name. So it's kind of exciting for the fan base to get that name. I mean, even if it's just so they can quote him and all of his crazy quotes over the years,
Oh yeah, those are awesome.
you just got to do it, man.
Yeah, and did you hear? So you got to listen to the 10-minute press conference. It's a whole lot of just what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, he's a kind of kooky.
He's
I
a
mean,
little
He's
kooky.
I know
always
he
been
was
that
getting a
way.
lot of
I
shit
know, that's-
because people were like, "Oh, he doesn't know what the
Yes.
mascot is."
Well-
but he was like, "So he's like, oh, where are you from?" And the guy's like, "I'm from the Devils."
Yeah, he's like, I'm from
Tribune or whatever.
devilsports.org or .net.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, where's that at?" And he's like, "Oh,
Tempe.
I'm here in Tempe to cover the Devils." He's like, "Well,
I'm a Catholic, son.
yeah,
Don't
I'm a
take it
Christian."
personal.
Yep.
But I'm a Catholic.
I don't like
We'll
devils.
try to I don't like devils.
Yeah.
And then everybody on Twitter's like, so should you tell him or should I?
Then afterwards, he's like, "I was just messing around. I'm trying to be funny here. I'm a funny guy. This is what I do. I'm a funny guy." And you're like, "Herm, are you really that funny?"
is
Because you're
gonna
not that
be-
funny, and you think you are, which makes it sad. And now your fans are like all like confused. Like,
So-
is he a mad genius?
So we already vote for him to be the most interesting team to watch next year, right?
Oh, no, not the team to watch. I want to watch his press conferences
Oh, yeah.
No,
afterwards.
well,
He's
I'll watch
a
him on the
king
sideline.
of press conferences.
Come on, you know he's
That's why
only
ESPN
only if it's
kept
mic'd
on
up.
him.
Only if
Yeah.
it's mic'd up.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun to watch him.
I've already said I want to
He's
see.
older,
I want
too.
to see him and Mike Leach do co-press conferences at media days in the summer.
Mike
Be
Leach is
fantastic.
awesome, dude.
And Mike Gundy's hair.
Yeah.
All three of them together on the stand. I'd love
Yeah.
to see that.
Sun Devils.
So,
That's
can we talk about some games? I'm tired of this coaching shit. Can we talk about some games?
Let's talk.
Let's
about
do
some
it.
games.
So, before I get into anything, I just want to say that Chris America and I we were texting back and forth, and we were talking about, hey, let's throw out some bets on these games. And Mac, Scout Team, myself, we were talking about the Auburn UCF game. But I said to Chris, like, let's make an interesting bet for the national championship. And he comes back right away, real quick, trying to beat me to the punch. He says, well, I got Clemson. You still got Clemson?
I'm hashtag all in.
How all in are you?
All in, baby. Clemson's winning it.
All right, you hear this? So, Mac, I wanted him to say that on the record because
I see that.
I thought about this, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm going Clemson. And then I thought about it. I'm like, this is going to be a little bit more interesting. So we got 4 teams left, and one of them's Clemson, and he said he's all in. You heard him say that, right?
All in Clemson.
So I challenge you to a wager, my friend.
Oh, boy.
And I didn't preempt him on this.
boy.
He's looking at me like, what the hell is he
boy.
going to come with? So you've heard of this ghost pepper challenge thing where you have to eat a ghost pepper?
No.
So before you say anything, because I'm going to edit that out later.
Hashtag no.
I take the field and you take Clemson. You're all in. Ghost pepper challenge. Let's do it.
Holy shit.
Mac, come on. Do you think that's a fair bet? He said he's all in. All in. What does all in
What
mean?
happened to the other bet?
Hold
I thought
on.
another bet.
Hold on. You're all in on the field, right?
I'm all in.
Okay.
On the field.
Okay. On the field. If Clemson wins, you got to jump off of a bridge.
Not the same. Okay.
Absolutely the same.
He's like, I'm not tasting that shit.
I'd rather jump off a bridge and spend a whole day on the shitter because Clemson lost a team I don't even care about.
Just saying right now, for the record, he is not willing to take a bet.
Oh, man.
Not willing at all.
Are you going to bet the bridge?
Dude,
If
I'm not
Clemson
betting the
loses,
bridge.
if Clemson loses, I'll eat the ghost pepper. If Clemson wins, you jump off a bridge.
I don't know, dude.
I mean, if it's a small bridge, like one of those ones on a
No,
golf
no, no,
course
let's-
where the golf cart barely can make it over.
Let's do that Sunway Bridge over there in
The
St. Pete,
Sunshine
Tampa.
Skyway?
Yeah, whatever that is.
yeah, okay. Yeah, you're gonna
You even
die.
got to pay your own toll just to get on the
Yeah,
bridge.
you're gonna die. How about you just go to the Sunshine Skyway?
Why don't we just do?
drive over?
Wait.
Why don't we just do
I'm
the?
just going back to. He said he was all in.
Why don't we do the Spider-Man onesie?
We are going to do that. That
That's
was
right.
already.
That was the bet. That was the bet that we were talking about.
I'm just trying to make it interesting.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing out some love here.
Dude, that-
Yeah,
Okay,
I just
so-
want Chris America to be in the hospital,
That thing has put
kinda
people in the
trash.
hospital.
and I want to take 3 teams over 1. That's how I'm sure about this bet.
He said he was all in. They were winning. He said it.
crap.
I didn't make this up. He said it.
That
I
bet-
just wanted
that-
for the record. So I threw it out there. It didn't catch. It didn't catch.
No, it didn't.
We're
It
going
didn't
back
catch
to the
it.
Spider-Man
We're
onesie.
going-
So I'm all in on UCF. All in
Wait.
Oh, wait. What are we
Well,
talking
let's do
about?
this. Let's
Wait,
do this for
yeah.
the Spider-Man onesie, okay?
for
All right,
the
yeah.
UCF or for
No, for the playoffs.
Yeah, for the playoffs.
So we each pick a team, and whoever team wins, they don't have to wear the Spider-Man onesie. The other 2 guys do. But if the one team that none of us picks win, then we all have to come here in a Spider-Man onesie.
I mean, but
I like it.
you're gonna pick the same team as me because I think Clemson's gonna win it too.
Is that going to be who you? Okay, so you don't have a different pick.
I mean, I want Georgia to win it. I'm high. on
You
Georgia.
were all Alabama's the best team.
No,
Go with
no,
Alabama.
No, I say Alabama's better than OSU. I'm good. I said Alabama was better than OSU, but but I think Clemson is gonna run the table. But I'm high on this Georgia team. I mean, it would be nice.
So
to
pick
see.
So let's do
Georgia.
a semifinal.
I can't
Hey, let's do a
bet on
semifinal
Georgia.
bet.
Shit, that ain't no bet.
So semifinal bet.
Okay.
And I'm willing to take a chance here because I actually, and this may be misguided, but I do think that Alabama could upset Clemson, and I'm willing to take them on a onesie bet. On the flip side, I also think that Oklahoma's gonna take it to Georgia. So those are the 2 games that I've got, and I'm going out on a limb. I'm a bold prediction kind of guy. I don't mind going out there and being crazy. I'm not afraid of a ghost pepper bet, but that's just a side bet.
Oh man, he's calling you out.
We're going Spider-Man bet onesie. So the bet is whoever loses got to wear Spider-Man onesie. So if we want to go just Clemson game, Alabama, I'll go Alabama if one of you wants to go Clemson.
I mean, I've already gone all in Clemson
All right,
with
so-
Spider-Man onesie.
Chris America versus Loudbeard,
Spider-Man onesie.
Spider-Man onesie.
Okay.
And
How does Anthony get out of another bet?
Loudbeard.
No,
No,
I'm
hold
gonna
on.
jump in
I'm not
this one.
done
I'll
yet.
jump in this
I'm not
one.
done yet. Same week, same games. Loudbeard challenges Anthony to a Spider-Man onesie, and I'm going Oklahoma.
Okay.
And you're going Georgia.
I'll take Georgia.
All right, I'm running the table.
Which
And if
spot?
I lose both, I get a little bit of an out because I'm just wearing one. I'm not
just
wearing it
wearing
like
one,
7
yeah.
times.
No,
I'm
you
just
just
wearing it
wear-
once.
yeah, we'll let you wear it
But
once.
I'm challenging both
All right,
of you
hold
to
on.
a Spider-Man
hold
onesie.
on, hold on.
Here he
I
goes.
think we got a bet here with the three of us.
Okay, let's hear it.
So you're going Alabama, Oklahoma is your national championship, right?
I am.
You're
I'm going on a
going-
limb. It's a
Right,
bold
right. Okay, so
prediction. Yep.
you're going
Clemson.
Georgia, Clemson.
Yep.
I'm going Clemson, Oklahoma.
There you go.
So there's our three-way bet.
There we go.
So whoever gets the national championship game right, the other two have to wear a onesie.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go with that.
That's
bet.
our bet.
Let's go with that bet.
So I got Clemson, Oklahoma. You got Clemson, Georgia, and you got Oklahoma, Alabama, right?
Yep.
Right.
He's gonna be out like double, right?
Do we do like a Dutch rudder to shake on it, or
A Dutch runner.
a Dutch rudder?
I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know.
that is.
I don't know what that is. I know what a Dutch oven is.
No, I'm good, man.
Google Dutch rudder.
Fuck
No,
later
I'm
on.
not
No,
Googling
no,
that.
do that shit. No, we're
Is that
good.
you ever seen Zach and Miri make a porno?
I have.
It's at the end of the movie.
It's been a little while.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Exactly. Why
It
we're
doesn't
not
sound
doing
like
it.
it's something pretty.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're gonna do this. We'll be
All right. So we got the Spider-Man onesie bet going.
Spider-Man onesie bet.
And it's no Ghost Pepper challenge.
Now, if you guys
because somebody was already no before we
Hold
even
on.
started.
So hold on. You
Hey,
wanna
hold
do
on,
the
if you-
Ghost Pepper
I
challenge?
have another bet
Wait.
that I can throw out as
Can
a prize. Go ahead.
Can I throw out a cheaper option so we don't have to go out and buy 2 Spider-Man onesies? Jen went out and her whole running group bought all these unicorn onesies.
I'm in. That's all you got to
Unicorn.
say. Unicorn onesie.
Unicorn
No, we're
onesie?
gonna do the Spider-Man.
Would you? I'm just trying to go cheaper so we don't have to spend money. Like I already have access to unicorn onesies.
Okay.
So if you ever want to step up to this challenge,
unicorn
instead of Ghost Pepper, there is a thing out there. I don't know if you've ever seen this on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the kids do this nowadays. There's the cinnamon challenge.
Hell no.
Where you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We're not doing the cinnamon challenge.
Now,
I'd rather do the Pocky challenge.
you'd rather do the what?
I'd rather do the Pocky chip. That's what they call it. The
I
Pocky chip.
feel like
Oh, the one that the spicy
the-
chip.
the
I do a
chip.
Pocky chip challenge. You want to do a
Pocky
Pocky
chip
chip challenge?
hold on. I feel like you went
You
to like
break it in half.
No, I was on YouTube all day today.
I felt like you
Apparently.
went to like a youth group and you saw the kids doing all these challenges. You're like, why don't I get to partake in any of these things?
Because we're old.
We are
very
old. But
This is stuff my youth group used to do when I was in high school at church.
What?
but it's fun.
challenges?
Like
Did you
Chubby-
enjoy
Chubby
that
Bunny?
time? Yeah, I'm not doing Chubby
I don't
Bunny.
know what that is either.
I've
What
heard
kind
of that,
church
but
you
I don't
went
really
to?
know what it is.
It's just all you got to do. It's a competition.
Oh,
you
you
put
put
marshmallows
marshmallows
in your mouth and you
Oh,
got to say
that's
Chubby
dumb.
Bunny and then however many, see who can get the most and
Now-
still say it.
I would never suggest something stupid like that.
The one chip challenge.
All right.
is not.
So,
Just
gentlemen,
kidding.
before we go any further with more bets or anything, we have some business to attend to. The season's over, and we had some top fives that we talked about.
Yes.
Yes.
How did we do? So, I'm trying to
Did
remember.
anybody calculate them?
I think you won, Mac.
I think I did, but
Okay, so I had. Let me try to remember. I had Alabama, I had Ohio State, Wisconsin, Louisville, and I'm trying to think of who my fifth team was. Trying
Penn
to remember.
State?
No, I didn't have Penn State. I only had 2 Big Ten or Big
Oh.
Big Ten
Wait,
teams.
who-
This is really great radio, you thinking
Wait,
about
what
what
you-
teams
what-
you
what
had.
So
got?
what,
What you
what was
got?
your top 5?
you got Wisconsin down there for you, right?
Yeah, I had Wisconsin. I know I had Alabama, Wisconsin, Louisville, and Ohio State. I'm trying to think of who my 5th team was.
Was
So
it USC?
I had Louisville, Ohio State, Alabama, USC, and Michigan.
You had
So
USC.
No, I had Washington.
USC, Alabama, Ohio State are all in the top 5. I can live with those. Michigan screwed me because I put too much emphasis into the Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I should have had confidence in him. And then Louisville, I thought a lot about Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson, he has been a finalist, named a finalist for the Heisman Trophy, which I said at the beginning of the year, I said he's going to go back-to-back Heisman and Louisville would be top 5. Now, he is not going to win. It is going to be Baker Mayfield,
It's gonna be Baker.
and they are not top 5. So I was off on both of those predictions. But at least if you don't go bold, you have to go home. I'm going bold. So that's how I did.
Damn, and I was hoping Louisville would have made their way back into
Like
the top
24 or
25,
something,
but they didn't.
saved.
So we broke even with your Florida State and our Louisville.
Okay.
Yep.
So who was your top 25,
I
Anthony?
had Alabama,
You had Clemson, Alabama,
Florida State, Oklahoma, and Penn State.
and Penn State. So that's where I think that's why you won. Because Penn State's 9, and then Clemson obviously won, Oklahoma 2, and then Alabama 4. So Mac had it, man. Good job, man.
Boy, give it to me.
All right.
To me.
So my Washington
You should have
was
put a bet out on that.
my Washington was 11,
Those are
my
good
Wisconsin was 6, Ohio State 5, and Alabama 4. So I was right there with you, but you're Clemson, Oklahoma, and I still regret to this day.
Not picking
I even said
Oklahoma.
it even on that episode that Clemson's claim to fame was for the last 6 years, whatever their preseason ranking was, they'd
Ranked
finish higher.
Yep.
and
And
they
they were
did.
preseason ranked number 6, and they finished off number 1, man.
So next year,
That's it.
are they going to go higher than number 1?
Well, it depends on where they get ranked in the preseason. Because they finished number 1 last year, and they started out number 6.
They gave
That's
him
a
no
good point.
respect, didn't they?
Well,
None.
No.
They did
And that's
lose
why they lost to Deshaun
the
Watson.
best quarterback in all of college
That's a
football.
blow.
And this year, he proved it in the NFL that he was that good of a quarterback.
I think Dabo was underrated. We all know the power of Dabo now.
I think if he wins again,
It's
he's the best coach right now.
it's Mayday.
Not all time, not
No.
obviously not,
Yeah, give him now.
but
Back
for
to
right
back.
now in today's world, he's
Back to
better
back.
than Urban Meyer and he's better than Nick Saban. Because he would have
Absolutely.
beaten Nick Saban twice.
Wait, if I win my bet, that means that he did not beat Nick Saban this coming.
Right. And
We'll
even
see.
then, I
We'll
think
see.
even then, I think now it moves him up to tied with second with Urban Meyer for right now.
Right now, yeah.
Because he's made the playoffs 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
He's been able to lose a guy like Deshaun Watson and keep going. So
But he was underrated when the rankings came out, and now we all know the truth. He's
it was
the
that
truth.
defense too, man. And
That
so
defense is good, though.
I tweeted this out as well. While Florida's hiring Dan Mullen, who has a losing record in the SEC with $6 million, y'all are hiring a guy with a losing record with $5 million, and Texas A&M is hiring a guy with a losing record for $75 million. Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator for Clemson,
Yeah.
Clemson's doing a sigh of relief because
Yeah.
this whole coaching carousel is gone and nobody's
Nobody's
called it.
called
I
it. Yeah,
don't
that's
understand
awesome.
why, man.
Hey, I mean, it is what it is, right? I
And-
mean,
or maybe he's also looking for a perfect job, you know? Kind of like with Florida State.
there
And
was a lot of jobs out there.
Yeah.
opening, bro. I mean,
it's true. But I mean, Texas A&M zeroed in on Jimbo right away.
yeah. Which is
Florida
still-
State zeroed in on Willy Taggart.
Mm-hmm.
And Florida, yeah, they didn't pay him no mind. They went after Chip Kelly and then Dan Mullen.
Yeah, I mean, he's a treasure, and he's just hiding up there. Like
And
you say,
Clemson, sigh in relief.
yeah, maybe he didn't want. Maybe he's already told people he doesn't want to go anywhere. Maybe he wants to stay with Dabo. I don't know.
And it's kind of like Kirby Smart, too, over at Alabama. He hung out for a really long time.
Yep.
I'm sure he got a lot of good job offers, and it took a job like Georgia, a ready-made job. I don't care what Georgia fans say about Mark Richt. He had them 8 to 11 wins year in and year out.
Yeah, I mean, I never was a Rick person.
Right.
I like Kirby.
I'll take his running backs.
Of course you would.
Chubb,
Yeah.
what is it, Swift,
Yeah. That's why I'm so high on
Michelle.
That's why I'm so high on this Georgia team. It's just something about them, man. They're special. It's a special Georgia team.
If they can stop Baker Mayfield, then they have a chance. And with the running game, you can keep the ball out of Baker Mayfield's hands. But if Baker Mayfield lights up their defense like Auburn's quarterback did
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, they're in trouble. Because Fromm's the truth. I believe in Fromm, but he's still a freshman. I don't think he can hang with the quarterback in a shootout like Baker Mayfield.
Can't hang out with Baker like that. But I do believe that they're going to stop Baker on defense a little bit. Georgia has a pretty solid defense. It's probably going to be one of the best defenses that Oklahoma's seen all season. So
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
yeah, so that's good. To be honest with you, I think that's going to be a better game because whoever wins the first half of the Alabama Clemson game wins the game.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's a bold prediction right there.
If Clemson jumps
First
up
half teams, huh?
Yeah, if Clemson jumps up 21-0 on them, It's over. If
If Alabama
jump-
jumps up 21-zip, it's over.
No, I don't. I
Exactly.
don't think so on that end.
I mean, we've seen it happen before, right?
Here's the problem with Alabama and why I'm not going.
You've been
to pick
down on them all year.
He has.
I get it.
Well, the reason why is, and we saw it against Auburn, we saw it against Mississippi State. They're a one-dimensional offense. It's Jalen Hurts running around, and either he hopes that a wide receiver, while he's running around, gets open and he delivers to it on a strike because he's really good at throwing the ball on the run, or he just takes off and runs with it. Brent Venables, we just talked about him being a really good. Why he hasn't been taken off of been hired by anybody and taken off of Clemson's hands is beyond us, other than maybe he's just waiting on the right job.
Tennessee's open.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to.
He's going to have a game plan for that. So
Yeah, he'll have a game plan for that.
So Nick Saban and his offensive coordinator have to come up with new wrinkles they need to help out Jalen Hurts.
Are you saying they miss Lane Kiffin?
So
I don't know if they miss Lane Kiffin, but they probably miss Amari Cooper and Julio Jones
yeah.
and like those guys aren't on this team. I said that on College Tailgaters. There's no Henry, there's no Ingram, there's no Julio Jones, there's no Amari Cooper.
Yeah, but
there's no
Saban
OJ. Is
called
it
up-
OJ Howard?
OJ Howard? Yeah.
But in the trenches, though, they still battle. I mean, that's a big offensive and defensive
That's fine,
line.
but that defensive line for Clemson's no joke, man.
I don't know,
That's going to
man.
be the best defensive line that offensive line will see all year.
So Nick Saban just had to call up the coach at Syracuse and say, what was the game plan?
What did you guys do? We give Brian a concussion? Okay, we'll try to work on that.
Hey, anything's possible. So if Kelly Bryant goes down, does that mean Clemson's done? I mean, are they DeAndre Francois-ing them?
Nah, you can't count
The better
Dabo
question
out.
is if Jalen Hurts goes down, is Alabama done?
Yeah.
And that answer is yes.
Yeah.
Emphatically yes.
Yeah.
Because like I said, with that Mississippi State game, he got sacked like 10 or 11 times.
Yeah,
if that was
bad.
JPW or McCarron, they would have been sacked 20 times.
Yeah.
And if Mississippi State's defensive line can abuse Alabama's offensive
I think
line like that,
Clemson's gonna get to
Clemson's
him.
defensive line
Yeah.
will give it to
The
them.
blitz is going to get to him. The blitz is going to get to him at least 10 times this game. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. I'll tell you that.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be one of the best games of the year. Clemson, Alabama. Just the fact that you're going, this is the three-peat. These coaches know each other really well. So what kind of wrinkle are they going to put into it that's going to make it different from the other games?
Yeah.
What are they going to do? Because I know Nick Saban's probably thinking to himself, damn, they took us to the house last year. What am I going to do differently? And Nick Saban isn't going to just sleep and say, oh, no big deal, it's another Clemson team.
Right.
He's doing everything in
yeah.
his power. This is their Super Bowl.
What if they lose this stuff?
Who, Alabama?
Yeah, what if Alabama loses? Nick
Nothing.
Saban
I mean,
reevaluates everything.
No.
He
Top
goes out
four,
and he
man.
goes out and he gets another Amari Cooper. He goes out and he recruits another Ingram. Like that's what he does. It's
Yeah.
just he didn't have it this year. And that's the only reason why I think Alabama has a chance to win is because Nick Saban's their coach. If anybody else was their coach, I would be 100% honest with you. I'd be like Clemson in a blowout. Because I just think Clemson is just all around that much better of a team this year.
They look good.
They do look good. And I know earlier in the year you said, oh, Clemson's number one. Alabama shouldn't be number one. And Clemson had that bad loss, which screwed them. But they climbed back in pretty quickly. And then Alabama did. They looked pretty bad against Auburn. I watched that game. And I was disappointed about how Alabama reacted. Like, they were down, and it's like, okay, they're going to come back. And they just couldn't do anything. They actually had the refs helping them try to get back in the game, and they still couldn't even get a play to work for them. So the whole thing was it was a dumpster fire. And so I'm banking on the fact that I think Nick Saban has had enough time to plan for this game and turn this around, and Jalen Hurts is going to be enough of an X factor to make this work. So I just have this gut feeling that Alabama is going to pull this out. I just do. That's why I'm going with it on our bet, because I don't really like wearing Spider-Man onesies. My belly hangs out. There's like a GIF or a GIF or whatever you call it out there where there's a Spider-Man with a beer belly that dances around. That would be me on this bet. But if I got to do it, I got to do it. I got to do it.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. So we decided that since this is the end of the college football season, we probably won't talk much about it until maybe around Christmas or so. So we kind of wanted to wrap up the season and anything. Let's go into some MVPs, and then we'll do another show where we'll talk about all the other stuff that's going on. Did you guys prepare any MVP since we're kind of doing this on the fly?
Sure. I can prepare an MVP at any time, any day.
All right, so who's your MVP, Kyle?
Now that you put me on the spot.
I had one, but I didn't want to take them from you.
Well, okay, go ahead with yours.
Do you want me to give them to you?
No, just go ahead with yours.
Do you want me
and
to
then I got
take it?
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make it.
Scott Frost.
No. Danny White, AD for UCF. Guy lost a really, really good coach and didn't skip a beat. By Tuesday, nobody even saw Heupel or Randy Shannon coming. Made a huge hire for UCF. Nervous about this UCF game because that whole coach, who's going to coach the team thing, is still up in the air. But we'll see.
Hey.
Danny White, my MVP.
So I'm going to go ahead and just throw this out there for you guys because I know that this has been going on for a while, and I probably shouldn't make this guy my MVP, but I just said it. It was Scott Frost. And it's because of the honor, the integrity that this guy has shown opposed to other coaches, Jimbo Fisher and the FSU Seminoles.
Jackass.
And
Slick Willy.
Slick Willy.
you
I mean, basically
jackrabbits.
anybody that goes in or out of Florida State, zero integrity.
Exactly.
But Scott
Jackasses.
Frost at the University of Central Florida, which is known as the UCF, has shown so much integrity. He took this team to an incredible season. He's finishing out strong, playing or coaching out in the bowl game. And we are going to finish this year the way it should be finished with a 13-0 season. Going to beat Auburn and show the committee that we should have been considered this entire time. Thank you, Scott Frost. And I appreciate the bowl victory, which I'm calling right now. And if anybody wants to put on a bet on it, I'm throwing it out there to you.
I might take you up on that. I want, since you guys both went with college, I kind of want to go Willy Swaggert because you jackasses diss on him so much.
Oh, so you're going
But
Willy Swaggert.
I'm
Of
not
course
going-
you would.
No, I'm not
of
going.
course you would.
I'm not going Willy Swaggert because you know my theme. My college MVP has to be Tennessee. They still haven't found a coach yet, and at this rate, I don't think they're going to get one to like maybe January, February.
Yeah, you called February, man.
Yeah,
I think we're getting closer and closer to it.
Just take the winter break off, relax, let it all die down, and then sneak a guy in the back door and be like, hey, we got one. And no one has time to paint on a damn rock to scare him away. So, Tennessee, you're my MVP.
All right, that's our show. Tune in to our next episode that we're about to record, where we'll discuss, did Ben McAdoo have his play menu switched out with a Denny's menu, and he was just too embarrassed to tell anybody?
The answer is maybe.
Yeah, man.
And
You'll have to tune in.
Definitely maybe.
See ya.
Peace out.